Hey guys, this is Dev Prasher, your host. Hopefully, you are enjoying your winter holidays and having a good time. Guys, today I want to discuss about trucking. Trucking is really going through a bad phase because it's very hard to find the loads and the prices are very low and the maintenance cost is very high. So, what's going on in trucking? We really need to discuss this today. So earlier when COVID hit the world, the China was making, the production was high over there and they flooded the whole world with their products. So what happened, the loads were enough and the truck load prices were very good at that time when the COVID hit earlier. But what's now happening, the China is suffering with COVID and the production is very low over there and it's like almost like zero. So it could happen, because the China what makes stuff, it takes like a month to come over here. So the impact we can may see in next month in January. It could be possible that we may not able to find the loads, and could be possible if we may find it, the prices may be very low. So this could be the the beginning of the new year. Very hard to find the loads. The loads are might be available, few loads, and the prices will not be there. Very low prices, cheap loads. So this is the thing. This may be the future for the next month. We can see how things gonna go. So guys, it may not be difficult for the big companies to survive. They have big margins. They can survive, through the hard times. But what about the companies who have like from 5 trucks, 3 trucks, maybe to up to 50 trucks? So they have their own expenses, like the insurance, the repairs, the driver expenses. So it could be the hard time for them, how to survive in that. But what about the people who have like only one truck? So mostly people from like the Asian countries, they have their only just one truck. They are the owner operators. They drive and they make money. How could they survive in this time, rough time? So today I'm going to discuss more about the single truck drivers, or the owner operators who have one truck, because I'm among the one who also have one truck. So what we need to do to survive? There are few options we can do right now. The first one is that we can link up with big companies like Swift, JB Hunt. We can start hauling for them. At least we have smaller margins and we can save for our driving. That we can do. We can go through this rough time by driving for big companies as an owner operator, not as a driver. That's a big difference. Still, we have our own liberty that we can choose our loads. We can but they have a vast variety of loads. I mean, you prefer Midwest, you're preferring some other lanes, you prefer dedicated lanes. Yeah, I mean, the margin might be low, but you able to survive with the big companies because their margins are big. They directly deal with the customers, so they are pretty, they have secure loads. Because if you think that you able to find the loads on the load board, if the time is very rough, it's very hard, because there will be no loads on the load board, and if you find the load, any load, could be possible that the prices are very low, that you will think that twice, that I'm just putting the miles on my truck, and if you get the repair on the trip, it's gonna go from your pocket. So that's a thing. That's why I prefer, working with some big companies in this time could be a big help. So the key factor will be the repair, in this rough time. So if we can avoid the repairs, doing the pre-trips properly and maintaining the right speeds could help us, avoiding the big repairs. So that's how we can save ourselves. And one thing more we can do, being as a single truck owner operators, we can reduce our expenses. So we really need to think right now what is our need and what we really want. The need and want is a very different things altogether. We may want everything in the world, but we may need few things to survive. So that's a big thing we really have to keep in mind right now in this rough time. So what we really need to survive and what we really want every day. So if we make a difference, that we really need to go with the things what we really need, so we may able to go out of this rough phase. So one thing is always coming in my mind right now, putting the miles on the truck at a very low price rates. So we just putting like the miles, if we get the repair on the trip, so what we gonna save? Nothing. So putting just the miles, keep on putting the miles. If we bought like a used truck, like something like 400,000 miles, 250,000 miles, and we just keep on putting the miles on the truck. Eventually, after a year or two, we will be end up with nothing, because the truck will have almost like 750,000 miles or somewhere near to that after 2 3 years. So we will have nothing in the pocket to buy a new truck. This truck will be over, and it will be a very hard time then, because of the market, because of the financial situation we will be in, and it will be very hard to buy a new truck at that moment. So guys, what are the things we can do basically to, for like a 2 years or 1 year phase, rough phase we have right now? Firstly, I think, it's better for us if we can link ourselves with some big companies. We can haul their loads, and working on a lower margins, but we may able to survive with this. Secondly, if you're a housewife, if you have a housewife, you can request your wife for this period of year, year or so, if she can work for a year. So it may help, second income, and it will be a great help. Early guys, we can work for Amazon. They have a power only loads. So if you are having a like a trailer on rent, so you can give them back, and you can have a trailer interchange insurance, and you can haul for them. They pay you a very basic minimum rate, but they have ample of loads, so you can work daily, and you can make some money, and you can go through this rough phase right now. Fourthly, we can have like a local loads. We can work daily for local loads, so you will drive few miles in a day, and you can make that much money, which is really good for you to survive for this time. That we can do. One important aspect also is a fuel. By buying fuel cards, we can save a lot on the fuel prices. Nowadays, I have seen so many fuel cards. They are giving a discounts up to like $1, maybe like 70 cents, 80 cents. There's a general discount we are getting like every day in most of the states right now on the fuel cards. So on a whole trip, you can save like maybe like a $500-600 on if you're going like from California to Midwest. So that much you can easily save, and that makes a big difference. If I'm making like 2 to 3 trips in a month, that comes out like 1,000 or maybe $1,200 on an average. That's a big discount. Being a single owner operator, what we can do, we can keep looking the load board even after like in afternoon. Sometimes what happens is the load get cancelled, and the broker really needs to they want the load to be get covered. So you may negotiate at that time, and you can get a better price. But for that, you really need to get ready, and you just have to go. Like maybe he will give you an hour or 2 hours, 3 hours to get ready, and you need to pick the load. But it could be a fortune, like you may get a very better price at that time. We can also discuss, like the few things, like the worst scenario. So what we can do in the worst scenario, like if nothing is working out for us, I mean, we are not able to survive. We tried our best. We tried to find the loads, and we tried to find a bigger companies. We reduce our expenses. Everything we tried, but nothing working for us. So what we can do at that time? So what are the options left to us? So the worst thing but we have to do at that time then, if this thing happens to us, we really have to see, how many installments are left on our truck. Like if the truck is pretty new, pretty new, like you just paid few installments, so it's better to then give off the truck to someone, or maybe to the dealer, or maybe to try to sell it to the person, who can buy it. And because you can at least save your credit. That's how you can buy a truck in future. It could be comparatively easy if you have a better credit, because you will get a better interest rate and everything. So this is the one thing we can do. But the second case is like, you are somewhere in the middle, like you paid for like 2 years or maybe 3 years. Then what you can do? Still, you can, you can try to find a buyer for your truck. Because today also, in this month, December, January, it is right now what happening, it's very hard to find the trucks, because the new trucks are not coming very easily. And you may able to find a buyer, maybe not like a good price for your truck, but maybe that could help you. And you can avoid paying then the installments if you get a good buyer for your truck. So that's how you can sell the truck, and you can work for someone, some big company, and you can make some money, because the bigger company, they prefer the experienced drivers, owner operators. Maybe in this time it could be hard to find a good job, but hope for good, you may able to find it, because the bigger company, they always need a good drivers, experienced drivers, so we can able to find it. So the third case will be, if you just a few installments are left, so then we can do, we can, try to pay off our truck. And if it's worth for you, you can able to find loads, then keep doing that thing. Otherwise, you can suspend your DOT, and you can, because in that thing, you can save your at least insurance, and you can start working for someone else, the bigger company. So at least you're making money through the driving. That's how you can do, because most of the time when the trucks are paid off, they become pretty old. They have like 700,000 miles, 800,000 miles. That's why I'm saying, that you can suspend your DOT for a time being, and when the things will be good in our favor, you can reinstate your DOT. It is very easy. It's a very easy job to get it reinstated, and then you can start your work again. For that time period, that you can work for someone, and you can go through this. I mean, you can fight this rough time. This is what I feel basically, that few things we can do. But if you feel like you know a little bit more, and you have some idea in your mind that how we can go through rough phase, it could help me too, to come out of it. Please, comment in the comment box and let me know what I also can do to come out of it, because I'm really also having a very tight time right now. I mean, going through this time, everybody is suffering. I'm not the exception too. Sorry guys, but I know, I mean, this is a what I'm saying is very hard to believe, but this is a worst scenario. I said it's a worst scenario. We can try, we can really, we can, the things I told you, it could be better things might be in your mind we can do to improve our situation economically, and financially, I mean. So we may able to come out of it. I mean, this phase came in trucking so many times. I've been in trucking from almost like 13 years now. I've seen the rough patches in trucking so many times. It happened, and it will happen in future too. But one thing for sure, I want to say, the truck has seen almost like a saturation right now. There are so many trucks, there's so many owner operators, single truck drivers, I mean, it's very became a very, very competitive world right now. Very competitive world. Because I mean, if you are like offering a broker like 5 grand for the load, there will be some guy, who gonna come from random, and he gonna say, okay, I will cover that load for 42 or maybe 4,000. He will may not be, offer like 48 or 49. He will offer something like 4 grand or 42. That's a big problem in trucking right now. That's because people are inexperienced. They don't know how much actually the expense is for running a truck. They don't consider their like the repair cost or anything. They just consider, okay, wow, I mean, like, this is the expense for running a truck for mile, like how much the diesel that costs. And at least, wow, we can do, we can save on the driving. That's a mentality. That's how the prices are coming down every month, every year. We can see this pattern. Like 10, 15 years back, the prices were comparatively better. The fuel prices were comparatively better. People are making good money. The load prices were better, because at that time, the trucks were like the manual trucks, like 10 speed, 13 speed, 18 speed. So people, who have some experience, they come to the driving like as a single truck driver, and then they buy their own truck. It takes some time. People like me, it took me like almost like 2 to 3 years. So I'll start driving like single driver, and became like a, the owner operator. It's like a very gradual, very slow process. But nowadays, what's happening? The trucks are like automatic. It's like a car driving. It's just like driving like a car, but it's just a pretty long. So people, they very, they become very used to very easily, driving the big trucks. So very new truck drivers are coming, and it's very the few months back it was very comparatively easy to buy a truck. I mean, it cost like few $1,000. Just pay as a down payment, and you can get a truck very easily. So I mean, right now the situation is like there are thousands of truck came in the market. It flooded like right now. So economy says like it has to balance in the time with the time. So what gonna happen through this rough time? Few of our brothers, they're going to lose their jobs, they're going to lose their trucks, so the trucks will reduce in the market, and eventually everything will be stabilized. The prices will be, the price will come to the normal prices what we used to get before, not like in the COVID time, before that. So these are the things, brothers and sisters, I feel like, to consider and to do for coming through, facing through bad phase, coming through out of this. So if you feel like, I mean, there's some other things we can consider and we can do, so please let me know. Please mention in the comments, and that will be a great help for me and for the people who are viewing this channel. Thanks, guys, once again. Keep watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, guys. Thank you once again.